Hello, Bravo bosses. This is the Bravo Investigator Podcast. I'm your host, Dana, and today we are talking about Married at First Sight, episodes 13 to 15. Joining me today is Jazmine Henley-Brown, who you might know as the executive producer of Reality with the King with Carlos King. She frequently guests on his podcast as well, and we had such a deep and rich conversation about each of these couples. This drop of episodes was super wild, so strap in because we have quite the conversation. In the meantime, don't forget to follow me online at TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at the Bravo Investigator. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and join the Facebook group. And don't forget that I have a whole other podcast called All You Need Is You, a podcast about living your best solo life. You can find the podcast in the show notes for this episode. It's linked there, or you can just go to Apple or Spotify and type into the search bar All You Need Is You and follow the show, download the show, and listen to the show. Love you, BBs. I will see you next time. Jazmine Henley-Brown, welcome to the Bravo Investigator Podcast.
Hello, so good to see you. It's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
I am very excited to have you here because you have been giving some really amazing, deep, insightful opinions about Married at First Sight this season. You have been throwing them out there on Threads, Instagram, other podcasts. So I'm like, I need to get this girl on. And then I've listened to you on a couple of pods and I'm like, okay, I love her vibe. I hate that I just said vibe. Oh, I'm cooked. Well, anyways,
Adam.
no, I just really wanted to get you on because I'm so obsessed with this season, and I feel like this show is sort of maybe niche, even though it's existed for 20 years. But this season in particular, I'm just so into. So it's just been really fun to have guests come on to really just break it down because the discourse has been like the best part. But before we get into it, I just kind of want to know a little bit about how you got into reality TV and sort of your trajectory from then to where you are now.
Oh my gosh. I have been watching reality TV since. I have this theory. I've talked about it before. There is a video essay coming to my YouTube channel. I grew up watching like tabloid talk shows. I know you're in Canada. I love Canada, by the way. Shout out to the Six. But I grew up I grew up watching like tabloid talk shows with my mom. So like Ricky Lake, Jenny Jones.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
Okay.
tabloid talk shows. I guess I never called it that. I
Yeah,
like that.
that's like
Okay.
the like official
Is it?
official name
Okay.
for them.
Okay.
Yeah, but so yeah, I grew up watching those with my mom, and I have a theory that that's actually like people who grew up watching those types of talk shows. That was like our like pipeline into reality TV watching
I
because
love that.
yeah,
I
we were
never thought of
conditioned.
that.
Yes, it's so interesting when you think about it because look at the way that we watch in like talk about reality TV now, right? Like we're watching people's lives, like we get to be judge and jury towards them, like we get to, boo them from our couches. It's the same thing they used to do on like Jenny Jones, right? Like somebody will come out with like an interesting backstory. The audience gets to ask questions at the end of the show. They get to boo the person that they dislike, right? You get to choose a favorite, a hero and a villain when you're watching a tabloid talk show. So I feel
Lie
like that
detectors. We've had that on those shows. We've had them on Housewives,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yeah. So that was like my gateway into reality TV. So said all that to say, I've been watching reality TV in some form since I can remember. And then obviously, blessed with the real world. That was like my first, real foray into like what we consider reality TV. The real world, loved Flavor of Love, Rock of
Hmm.
Love. I Love Money, like all of that stuff. So I was like, in middle school and high school watching reality TV. And so, yes, I've been watching it in some form for pretty much my entire life.
Wow. I love thinking about it that way. I'm going to change my journey because I feel like my answer is always, I think The Hills was probably my
Mm.
gateway drug into reality TV, but I'm sure there, like you said, I guess I've been watching it since birth in some capacity, right?
Yeah, America's Next Top Model, like if there was like a time when I can be like, okay, I mean, I have vivid memories of watching The Real World, but like I always talk about America's Next Top Model because that was like the point in reality TV where I realized it was like intergenerational or like cross generational. Because my mom, my older sister, me, And even sometimes my dad would like watch America's Next Top Model. So like if we were watching it, my dad would come in, he would watch like the last couple of minutes with us. And so that was the
Yeah.
first time I was like, oh, like this thing that I like, right? There's people who are older than me, ancient, my parents, they like this too. So that was like the first time when I realized it was like for everyone. But
You're
yeah, I've been
right.
watching it for so long, and yeah, that's my journey.
And then how did you get to work with Carlos King on Reality with the King, which is so amazing. Congratulations on having that role because wow.
Oh yeah, thank
That
you
is
so
the
much.
Mecca, even though there's someone here named Mecca, like that's a word I used to be like, that's like the top goal, right? So that's the Mecca.
Yeah, Carlos is so, oh my gosh, he's such a good friend, such a good like advisor for me too. So I was a fan of his work, right? Like I watched early seasons of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, New Jersey. He has a bunch of shows on the Oprah Winfrey Network. And one of those shows is Love and Marriage Huntsville. So my husband and I were watching this show called Black Love on OWN, and it went off, and then you know how on streamers it just like auto plays another show right
Yeah.
after. It auto played an episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and right after that, there was a special that they were doing to like talk about the show. And Carlos was on that special. Obviously, he's the creator and executive producer of it. And I was telling my husband, I was like, I like this guy so much. Like he was one of the executive producers of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I was like, I'm gonna work with him one day, right? Then
You
2021
said
came.
that.
I was Yeah, I said that to my husband because we always laugh about it too. Um, 2021 comes, I'm an executive producer at SiriusXM. So I oversaw a podcast network within SiriusXM. And I connected with Carlos because he had a show coming out called The Encore on BET. And I wanted to do like a companion style podcast for that show. So I reached out to his former VP of development. She passed along my info. He sends me an email. He's like, hey, my name is Carlos King. I heard like you were wanting to talk to me about a podcast. I'm like, yes, we get on a Zoom call, instantly hit it off on the Zoom call. Like I literally felt like I was talking to like a long lost relative. So we just had so much fun on that Zoom call. Through some other things, that initial idea didn't end up working, but what Carlos was like, well, I've always wanted to do a podcast about reality TV. About He's like, I always wanted to do a podcast anyway. And I was like, about what? And he was like, reality TV, duh. And I'm like,
What
well,
else?
duh. Right. And thus, Reality with the King was born. We co-created that together, developed it.
Wow.
I was the executive producer for a year, and then I ended up leaving SiriusXM, and then the show just kind of, it has taken on a life of its own, and I'm so grateful for that, and some of the other shows on my resume. But like I said, Carlos and I became quick friends, and so I went from being, a co-executive producer with him to now being like a guest, a recurring guest on the podcast and on his live. So it's been
Yeah.
really wonderful.
That is so amazing. And congrats on that again because it's
Thank
such a good
you.
show.
Yeah, he's a talent that I'm really glad that we get to witness him as not just like the executive producer and the host of the reunions, but like actual, doing
Right.
commentary and stuff. He's so fun, very
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. It's people love it. All
Yeah.
right. Well, let's talk Married at First Sight.
Let.
And this is such a great season. I'm so into it. We're talking episodes 13 to 15 today. It's like, it's almost too good to be true with all of the drama. Like it's so much. I mean, a lot of people are talking online about how it's like dangerous that they released this season. I wouldn't say necessarily so in the same. I don't know if you watched The Ultimatum because that was maybe more so
Mm.
the discourse there. And there I
I heard
may
about that.
agree because we were talking about like domestic violence and all these
Hmm.
things. This is just silliness, I feel like.
I feel like dangerous is not the word. Like I think we have to stop assigning such heavy words to like frivolous like
You were
themes.
talking about this online, I think. Yes.
Yeah,
Tell me
yeah,
what
because
you were
I
saying.
I think there's so many times when you're saying something is dangerous or abusive or racist or something like that when it's just kind of like an uncomfortable thing. And I just feel like we have to reserve, not saying that those things don't exist, but it's like we should reserve those for when that type of thing is actually happening. Because I'm of the belief if everything is this thing, then nothing is this thing, right? So if everything is dangerous, then nothing is dangerous. And we start to take it less seriously because it doesn't hold as much weight when the thing is actually happening. And like to your point with the ultimatum, I don't watch the ultimatum because I just don't like the format of the show. But
No,
yeah,
you're not for that. You're not for couple swapping.
And and it's not even that. Like, it's not like I'm like ethically that's wrong. Like, I watch reality TV. I don't give a shit. It's just, I just didn't like it. Like, I couldn't connect with it. But
Okay.
based on what I was hearing about this last season, is that there actually was some abuse going on. And I'm like, see, that is dangerous. But
Yes.
because everything on TV is that now, I didn't find myself, like, I wasn't compelled to go and like do more research because,
Right.
I'm so used to people over exaggerating. So I just think we have to be careful. I would not say this season of Maps is dangerous. Did they play a little bit with the matches? Yes, but is this
Yes.
also reality TV? Is this also Peacock? Yes, and yes. So I expected that.
Also, I have recently been informed that the marriages aren't real. And I always thought they were. And I don't know if this is a recent thing, but if you listen to the dialogue, I mean, we have different experts, but if you listen to the dialogue, no one is saying anymore, like, this is a binding marriage and using
Right.
that terminology, right, in that same way. But that's what I always really loved about the show because it sort of forces you to try harder because you'd have to go through a divorce. And Jamie and Doug from, the beginning, I don't know if you watched
Yeah.
from all the way back then, if she was not attracted to this man in a
Yeah.
bar, she would peace out, right? And now they're married with like 4 kids because
Hmm.
she felt like more compelled to try. So I don't know if that changes things for this season. And we'll get to it. I also just thought it was interesting, though, that the experts were like, if you're not feeling it at this point, leave, because I feel like that was a new sort of
Yes.
vibe, right? Like, usually I feel like in most of these shows, Love is Blind, all of them, they kind of force you to stay. And my understanding was also sometimes there's a penalty, not necessarily for this show, but Love is Blind, I've heard like you make more or you don't get like, or you get some sort of fine for not going to the altar, which is crazy. If you don't
Yeah.
embarrass yourself in front of your friends and family, you will be fined. If
Yes,
you don't fly
that's
in
what I
your
heard too.
grandmother from
Right.
across the world, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what I heard too. And I heard that about this season that the marriages are not legally binding because I don't know about you. I have a memory of Pastor Cal or
Yes.
somebody like introducing that like when they would come on at the first
And they
episode of
drill
each
it
season.
into you.
Yeah, he would say these are real
Binding
binding
marriages.
marriages. Yeah. So I don't remember them saying that and I saw that online. Somebody was saying that the marriages this season I don't know if it was the same for last season. Maybe it's like a change that happened when they went over to Peacock, and Peacock is just like, well, we don't need them to be binding. We're just here for the mess, honey. So I don't know, but like that would make more sense as to like why they let Courtney and Nick leave.
Just peace
And then
out. Yeah.
yeah, and it also would make more sense as to why nobody from Adam's family showed up to his wedding because I still think that's so weird that nobody
It is
came.
weird.
But if it's not a real marriage, then they probably are just like, sweetie, call us when it really happens.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into it. And we had just talked, we like, spoiler alert, Nick and Courtney are no more, but like, let's start with them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess I'm just curious your thoughts on them as a couple overall before we get to their split. Like, there
Hmm.
seems to be this vibe, God, between the two of them where she feels like he's not doing enough, he's not giving enough, he's not being himself, he's not being goofy enough. He's like, I need to feel like safe enough and comfortable enough in a
Right.
space with someone to be my full self. I also, every time I like breathe, you think it's like annoying and corny. So, and like, I so hate to like side with a man over a woman, but like, I really dislike her.
Yeah, see, I like to side with whoever is right in the sense, right? Like I don't no offense, no shade to people who do preface things like that. I just like to side with whoever is right. I don't really care who it is. And in this sense though, I am totally with you. I side with Nick because I feel like while I questioned Nick a lot when they introduced him in like the first couple of episodes when he was like crying, like, oh, I'm gonna get a wife. I was like, oh, he is acting and like not good either, right? Like I was just like, he's fake. And it's so funny because I made some videos about it and I posted some clips and Nick commented. And he's like, that's so funny that you thought I was fake. And like, but
He's
he
all
was
up in
a
the
really good,
comments.
yeah, he is so in the comments, but he was a really good sport about it. And he
Yeah.
was really cool, which also made me like kind of feel differently for him. I don't know if this happens to you when like the people you talk about when they come into your comments and they're you're interacting with them. It's just kind of like, yeah, I do. It puts it into perspective that like I'm kind of passing judgment on these people from this like heavily edited show. And so with Nick, I was just like, dang, he seems fake. And then when he and Courtney met each other, I was like, okay, they both seem like they're going to be attracted to each other, but I kind of felt right away that there was some kind of disconnect with them. Like almost immediately, I was just like, I don't know, but I thought it was him. I thought it was him. I
Hmm.
was like, he's not here for the right reason. So like, there's this wall up. But as the episodes went on, I was like, Courtney just seems so unpleasant to be around, like in a
She's so
romantic sense.
rigid. Like
She's
that
so
word is so
rigid.
her.
Yes, yes, she's so rigid and just, yeah, if I were Nick, I also wouldn't feel comfortable being goofy. It's like, what's the line for you? Because, like, how goofy is too goofy? And it's just like, if I'm opening up to you, if I don't say the right thing, you're going to attack me and then you're going to start like cursing me out and stuff like that. I saw somebody on Thread say like she's experiencing like roid rage from like steroids. And I was like,
The way
I,
people diagnose on threads, apparently Caitlin is autistic. I'm like, everyone
what?
relax, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I
she
I didn't see the thing about Caitlyn, but they are saying that Adam is a recovering alcoholic, and I'm like, he literally never said that. He never said that at all.
no, it's all for like being clean and all of that.
Yeah, so it's weird, but yeah, people were saying Courtney had roid rage, and while I cannot say that to be a fact because I don't know that woman, that is hilarious because she
Yeah.
is like super aggressive, like she's very like aggressive and like, yeah, I'm not, I wasn't feeling her vibe at all. I think she's an attractive young woman, and so I feel like she is gonna find her like, conservative pickup truck driving guy that I think she really wants. I think she just wants like the epitome of like when you think like of a conservative uh man who may or may not have stormed the Capitol on January 6th. I think that's what Courtney wants, which is why she tried to act like she didn't know what happened on January 6th. I thought that was hilarious. So I was like, no,
Yeah.
sweetie, you know what happened. You just don't want
Yeah.
to say that you're
Right.
okay with dating someone who might have
Exactly.
been there. So I think she wants a guy like that that's like in his camo and like goes, fishing and like has a photo on his dating profile holding up a big ass fish and he drives a pickup truck. I think that's the kind
Exactly.
of man that Courtney was hoping they were going to match her up with. And I feel like she's going to find it.
But at the same time, I think we can both agree she is not even close to ready for this. Like that woman needs therapy.
Yeah. Oh,
Hardcore.
absolutely.
I hope she watches this back and sees herself. I mean, she's already sort of like
Yeah.
posting like some jokes about like, oh, am I the problem? And like all of the like negative
Yeah.
comments about her. But like, yes, yes. And
Yeah.
also, you keep talking about these exes that you had when you were doing homework. So like how long ago were these relationships and you're clearly not over them? Like the way
Mhm.
that you could see like the pain in her eyes when she talks about the one that cheated on her. She just doesn't feel over that. And
Right.
so to me, it felt like she didn't really have any insight because she leaves this whole thing saying, oh, can you guys find me another husband? Or I need someone who's on my page, on the same page as me for XYZ. You're not even ready. She should have left this being like, I have a lot of work to do on myself.
Yeah, I think she should have done that. I don't think she did that though, because like you said, I've already seen her on her Instagram. She thinks it's a joke. She's trying to like pass the blame to Nick. Like she made a video like "Who the F did I marry?" where she like
She did not.
took the voiceover from Risa Tisa.
No,
Yeah,
she did
like
not.
yes, she did that on her Instagram. So I'm just like, oh, so now she's gonna try to spin it to make it seem like Nick is the problem. I think in all of this. I don't think anyone's saying that like Nick is perfect because Nick also seemed like really closed off. But like again, when you look at how Courtney acted towards him, you can't. It's hard to say if he was like that or if she just made him feel that way. So I don't know because I don't think I really got to get a good sense of who Nick was from this experience, and so I think it's also really hard for people to determine like where things went wrong or what he actually did wrong. But I am
Yeah.
also of the belief that like just because one person is bad, it doesn't mean that the other person is like a martyr or like an angel, right? So it's like
Right.
just because like we don't because I've been seeing people in Nick's comments like, oh, you sweet, you're perfect, like Courtney just
People
does
have
not
to be
deserve you. And I'm
teams. That's
like,
just how we are in this
yeah.
reality TV universe. And it doesn't have to be that. It
It
doesn't
does
have to
not
be so
have to
black and
be
white.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm just literally saying I don't think we got to know enough about him to call it either way. So if
Right.
anybody was going to get a second chance and get another spouse, I think it should be Nick over Courtney.
we're not giving him another reality TV show. But what's funny about Nick then is like, I mean, I haven't seen any of the other shows he's been on, but like theoretically, out of all of these people, shouldn't we know him the best because he's been on TV the most? But I feel like we know him the least in a
Yeah,
way.
and I didn't see I watched a couple of seasons of The Circle in the early days, but I didn't see his season, and I don't watch Perfect Match, so
Yeah.
I have no idea what he was like on there.
I didn't see any of that either. I
Yeah.
really liked at the group therapy where they broke up, not that part, but I liked how the experts sort of put it in perspective to them in terms of like whether they should bother to continue for like the final 2 weeks. How they put it like like do you see yourself getting into a marriage or getting to a spot where you can continue a marriage in that 2 weeks. And I feel
Right.
like once they put that question in their heads, they're both like, no, like
Yeah.
obviously not. Right. And that's sort of like the good reframing of it. But what did you think about like, I don't know, it's sort of becoming the rhetoric online and it was really pissing Courtney off where Nick was like, well, I guess I could stay to like work on myself, but that wouldn't be fair to Courtney.
What do I think of him saying that?
Yeah. Like, do you think that
Um,
that was a reality TV thing, like where he wants the airtime, he wants to stay on longer? Or do you just think it was nothing? I don't know. It's becoming like she was like, fuck you for that, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Because I remember her having a reaction. Like sometimes they say stuff, and I'm just like, well, that just seems like the nice thing to say, right? Like, so
okay.
that's why I think
So
that's
it's
why I
a nothing
really,
burger to you.
yeah, I didn't give it a second thought because I was like, he seems like he doesn't want to flat out be like, you're a horrible, I hate you. Hell no, I don't want to start it. So I think he was just kind of saying he even said that to us, right? He thinks about trying to say the right thing. So I think he just thought that was the best thing to say in
Yeah.
the moment. I don't know that I can't call it. Like, did he maybe want extra airtime? Probably, right? Like people, we also have to remember yes, they are on a reality TV show to find love, but they're on a reality TV show first. Like people
Right.
sign up for this to be on TV. So
Yeah.
like if he did say it because he wanted more airtime, that feels normal to me too.
You're right. Like, you're right. You know, who was it? It was the guy from Vanderpump Rules, the new Vanderpump Rules, where he had been on a few reality TV shows as well.
Yeah.
And people were
Yeah.
like, ick. And I had someone on my podcast who said, like, but like being like back in the day, the people who started on Vanderpump Rules, their goal was to be actors, right?
Hmm.
Now, being on reality TV is also a job that is respected in a different way that it wasn't back then. And so that is your job. So what is the ick, right? Like you're a reality
Right.
TV person. And then if you frame it that way, you think about it differently, you know?
Yeah, that's my thing. Like when people are like, "You just did this for clout," you did. I'm
Yeah.
like, they all do it for clout.
Yeah.
They all do it for clout.
Not the
The
right
people.
reasons.
I mean, who's to say if it's right or wrong? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like we're all trying to get our piece of the pie. Like I even say that like us as people who comment on this stuff, we have YouTube channels because like we are trying to get our own like
Yeah.
clout. And I don't necessarily think that's a negative thing. Like if you are good at something or if you feel like you're a person that the world needs to witness, have at it. So yeah.
I love that mentality. Okay, let's move on to Cam and Michelle. Not much there just because like they're perfect or whatever, but he does kind of say something similar to what Felipe was talking about last week,
Mhm.
except Felipe said it in a horrific way, where he's worried about like the passion fading.
Yeah.
And so that's just sort of like the only, I don't know, barrier, I guess. And the experts do that reframing thing where they're like, try to think of it like, try to remain constantly curious about each other. Like you're always wanting to learn something new about that person. He drives like 3 hours at night to like spend time with her. They're so into her. They spend time with each other's families. So, yeah, I think they're going to be like well, I was going to say Jamie and Doug, but like they didn't start out that way. I don't know. I think they're gonna make it. What do you
I
think?
think they're I think they're gonna make it too. I still worry about Cam like being in his 30s and
Hmm.
never having a serious relationship. Like that's always
Yeah.
gonna be something for me that's just like, why not? Right. And I think as
Yeah.
the episodes go on, we kind of are getting a better sense of him. Like he seems to lack a lot of confidence in himself And so I think that in turn affects his relationships because we saw the first glimpse of that when they were talking about the salary, when they had the salary conversation. And she was like, I want someone who makes at least 150. He's like, I do not make that. And then it carried over into the night where she had to like console
I do
him.
not make that.
Yeah. She had to she had to console him that night. And then this last like drop of episodes when he just wasn't having a good day and she had to like take him outside and like walk him through that. I don't like to diagnose people, but it felt to because he was saying I have a lot of times when I'm like not so happy or like I'm kind of sad and I'm like, are you depressed? Like, do you struggle with depression? Maybe,
Hmm.
possibly, potentially. I would talk to someone about that if I were him. And like that's not even like a dig or anything. It's like that's a real thing and like you should get treatment for that if you are experiencing that. And so I think that's going to be kind of the thing for them. I do think they're going to say yes on decision day. I do like them as a couple. They are out of the group. They are the couple that I think has the strongest shot at like a long-term actual
Yeah.
marriage after this. But I do think they still have some hurdles for sure that are going to come up that they're going to need to walk through. And I'm just worried that because he's never been in a serious relationship, like, is he going to understand how Michelle is supposed to play, like, what role Michelle is supposed to play as he experiences life because she can't always be the fixer for him
Yeah.
because then it's like how much of herself is she draining to fix him on a consistent basis if that is the case that could breed some resentment on her end. So we'll see how that goes, but I know that sounds uh kind of dire, but I am genuinely saying that because I think they have a good shot.
Listen, we are here to psychoanalyze people we barely know, okay? It is very fun. But you make such a good point. But I've also noticed that amongst a lot of the men that they've chosen here, like
Yeah.
Felipe has never had, or it's been a while since he's had a long-term relationship. Um, who's the other one?
Mecca.
Mecca has never been in love. Like, why are you selecting these men, right? Like, I just don't know. Like, again, I feel like everyone's going to come out of this learning a lot about themselves and realizing that they need therapy for XYZ, but like, that's what they're going to get out of this, right? Like,
And
it's,
it's an interesting thing that like I've been noticing with like I mean Cameron is in his like mid 30s. I think he's like 36, 35 or
I think
36.
he's
But
like
I think
37. So, like, he's getting
okay,
up
yeah, I
there.
think Mecca is like not 29, 30 or something like that.
Oh, is
And
he so young? Okay.
yeah, I think he's really young. He
Yeah.
said all that to say, like, that's the thing that I've been noticing with like younger people, like the younger millennials, Gen Z, like they get into these like 20s and like later 20s, never having like serious relationships or like never having like experienced love. And I'm like, what is that like? I don't know. Like, as someone who has had like some type of boyfriend since I knew that I liked boys. Like I've never had an experience where like I wasn't like interested in dating or trying to date. So like I'm always so curious. I think that's why Cameron fascinates me because I'm like, how do you get to 37 and never had a serious relationship?
Okay, so that's my whole other life. And I have a whole other podcast called All You Need Is You about living your best solo life. I have been single for
Oh,
like a really long time. But
okay.
I'll say that the way it happened was, because what we're seeing now just sort of seems more common, even like Love Island and everything. A lot of these people have never been in a relationship.
Right.
And that was just what I was experiencing in my younger days. But it was more unheard of. Like I was like the only one who was experiencing
Right.
that. So I
Right.
was I'd meet like when I was younger, I'd meet people through friends, but it would last like 6 weeks or something like that. And so I
Okay.
thought there was
Okay.
something wrong with me. Then there was online dating, and it just never came to fruition. It was just they would, ghost, or which was before even the word ghosting
Yeah,
existed,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It was
yeah.
so long ago. And then it finally just came to a point for me where I'm like, okay, what is it, this thing that I'm chasing that I've never really had? Anytime I had a boyfriend, I was miserable. So I was just like, you know what?
Mm.
Why don't and it made me question myself. It's like applying for 100 jobs and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, am I stupid? Right? Like, why aren't I getting the job? So it made me question myself all the time. My body, it flared my eating disorder. It was so bad to constantly, like, honestly, dating was the hardest thing I'd ever done. And so
Okay.
one day I just told myself, or said to myself, why don't I just take it out of the equation? And I did, and I never looked back, and I've never been happier. So that's me.
Wow.
But for me, these shows are like, um, to me, I look at it as such like an outsider now because it's been so long and I'm so happy in the life that I have that to me, this is entertainment. People that get married, that's entertainment to me.
But you have had serious relationships before.
I've had one for two
Okay.
years.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I thank you for that perspective too, because I think it's also for me, it's so easy to view the world through your own
No, totally.
experiences and your own lenses and stuff. And so when I say things like that, and then like what you just shared with me, it makes me feel like the way that I view things, it might be a little like judgmental on my own.
No, no, no,
Well,
not
not, but
not
not
at
even
all.
in a bad way, right? Because I feel like we are all judgmental in some way. Like we all
Of
like
course.
we're judging
That's
these
what
people
we're
on
here to
reality
do.
TV. Right, exactly. But it just makes me think about the perspective and like the way that I'm viewing things, and like I shouldn't be so, if someone hasn't had a serious relationship, like what's wrong with them, or like are there red flags with them versus like what experiences, what have they experienced that is just making them look at relationships like as something that they aren't prioritizing. And so thank you
Right.
for offering that to me.
But I also totally get that, right? And you can look at so many people. I mean, I don't know how long you watched this show, if you watched it from the beginning, but I think there was someone, I think her name was Deanna, who had been single for a decade,
With
and she
Greg,
ended up with
right?
the guy, and they're married and they have kids,
Yeah,
I
and they
think.
have
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
We
But
like
it was
Deanna
it
and
was a
Greg.
red flag to him. He was like single for a decade. And in my mind, I was like,
Right.
it wasn't like I hadn't tried, right? Like back then. And I remember I think she was in the same boat. Like she had had
Yeah.
situationships and stuff, right? And it's like
Yeah.
you can't force people to want to be your boyfriend. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
sort
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the boat I was in, right? And
Yeah.
so, but I do totally understand it because for the most part, it seems odd, right? And I think
Right.
it's normal to question it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you've
It's
been in like a million 3-week relationships, I'd question
sure.
that just as much.
I mean, on both sides, right? It's probably a question to ask, because the question that could also come to people like me, like why was there always a need to feel partnered? Like what's
Hmm.
your tea? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
questions could be posed on both sides. But yeah, I am just noticing like this increasing number of young people who are getting into their 20s never having any type of relationship. Like I think Ace from Love Island season 7, he had never had a girlfriend before. And I'm like,
yeah.
scratch like a long-term thing. You've never even said to someone like, I want you to be my girlfriend, even if it lasted for a week or two. You've never done that. Like what is that? And it seems like it's a growing phenomenon with like
Yes.
this generation coming up. So that's why I'm really curious about it. But then again, like again with Cam, he's not a Gen Z, he's a millennial. So I'm just like, what is that?
Yeah, no, I do question it with him, and he does seem too perfect. So I'm like waiting for the other shoe
That's
to drop. And depression doesn't seem enough for me. We're all depressed, right? Like, what else you got,
hello.
Cam? Like, what else is going on?
Right. Hello. That's not it. So I don't want to hear that excuse from you, Kim, because
Yeah,
we all have some shit going on up here,
exactly.
okay? Especially if you are a millennial. I feel like we're the most fucked up. So
Exactly.
we
Okay,
all have a thing.
totally. No, totally. Okay, let's move on to Nikki and Shawn, who I feel like are the most complex couple.
My
I
goodness.
I give her props every week for trying so hard. I feel like she really does. She's putting her all into this marriage because I would have been out with the whole mutual masturbation conversation last time, right? Like I would have been out of here. But the way she dealt with that was so good. And now they just seem like good and they're on the same page. The way they phrase sexual stuff is odd, but like it seems like they've had some sexual contact of a sexual flavor, but it's not
Yeah.
romantic. So I don't know where do you stand with them in this drop of episodes?
I'm gonna say Nikki and Shawn, I think, are my favorite couple this season because of how complex they are, and like
Okay.
just how much content they have given us, right? Because it's so easy to say he's gross, she deserves better, but I also, from my vantage point, I'm like they seem honest when they met each other. She didn't find him physically attractive, but I was like, when I look at them together, I don't see a man that is like severely punching above his weight, right? I think Shawn is an attractive man. I think
Yeah.
Nikki is beautiful. I don't see someone who like is with this woman that like he shouldn't be able to get
No.
with, right? They look very like evenly yoked to me. They kind of like walk through life similarly. Like when they are like walking into a room arm in arm, hand in hand, my husband and I laugh about that all the time because I've gotten him to watch the show with me. Where like they look like a
Love
couple
that.
that we would like see in our family, or like we would see in like a DC like power couple, like that they met in college and they've just been together for like this entire time. That's what they look like to me. And so it's so funny that she is like so not physically attracted to him, because it's like she feels that strongly about the lack of physical communication or physical attraction. But like you said, she is trying week after week. So I'm like, there's something, there has to be something there. Because she doesn't, at some point she does seem repulsed, but then at some point she does seem like, I really do want this, right? And I'm like, it's such a complicated situation I feel like to be in, but she's also not perfect either, because I mean, talk about someone, she's not as rigid as Courtney, but she's a little prickly, I think. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just like, I could also see on Sean's end where he's just probably had to have times where he's like, I want to like get past this with her because she
Hmm.
maybe isn't the nicest to me, or she isn't physically attracted to me, and because she's not physically attracted to him, I think a lot of shit that he does annoys her, and it wouldn't annoy her if she thought he was handsome. And so
I'm
like
so that
there
way. You're more
there's
annoying if you're ugly to me. If I'm
right,
not
if I
attracted
don't,
to you,
yeah.
everything you do is annoying.
Yeah, they're fascinating to me because as we left this last drop of episodes, I was like, it actually wouldn't surprise me if they say yes on decision day.
Same.
And I think that would be a great story if they
Yeah.
did say yes.
Crazy. I mean, the one thing, like, I so agree with you on the repulsion, but I think I blame him a little for that because whenever he brings up sex, he does
Hmm.
it with specifics. Like even in this episode, he says taking a bath together, staring and holding each other in our night clothes. Like, what are these images? Right? Like, I don't even know what this means. But like, and every time I think it just makes her pull back. With Caitlin, I think too the same thing, right? So yeah, she I think she's been really good at communicating with him, or at least to the camera, that she wants that to progress naturally. And he's
Sure,
like, yeah,
yeah.
I totally get that. And we don't even need to talk about it, he'll say sometimes. Like, let's just let it happen. But then he won't. He'll like say something, and I think it just makes her pull back. So I'm glad that he's kind of, I don't know, done with that. What do you think about him like coming out of the room after they did some sexual flavors? And
I
with
didn't
the robe open, because people are talking about it online as like him doing it on purpose. I know he knew the cameras were there and he was trying to let everyone know that he got what he wanted or something.
I mean, yeah, the cameras were there because they're filming a reality show. So it's like, why did they show it to us is the better question, right? Because it's like they leave so much on the cutting room floor. That is a clip that they definitely could have let out, but they wanted us to see it. And so
Yeah.
it's like you can't expect there are cameras around them all the time. And if you talk to anybody who's been in reality TV, they always say there's a certain point in filming where they forget that the cameras are there. So like I
Because
don't
those are
think
the
he
surveillance cameras. Those are the apartment
yeah,
cameras. It's not like there's a guy there because it's
right,
the middle of
right.
the night.
Right, the camera crew was not standing out there, you know
Right.
what I mean, with their
So of
boom
course you
mics and
forget.
shit.
You're just
Yeah,
living.
exactly, exactly. So I think that's what happened with that. But you know, Sean can't win with most of this audience. I feel like everything he does, they're gonna like pick it apart. I don't think he walked out there just to show himself.
I
But
don't think
again,
so either.
they did not have to show us that clip. But I mean, according to him, you know, they are one, and according to Nikki, they are sexually compatible. While they did not have the sex, I I have seen speculation on what they did do, and I was like, oh, if that is what happened, and now she's saying that they're sexually compatible, that is the funniest thing that I've ever
Okay,
imagined in
sure.
my life.
Tell me what you saw.
So they people are saying that he went down on her. And that's
Okay.
why she is now saying they're sexually compatible. And she's like all excited because he did a really good job at that.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
Okay.
exactly. When I saw
And
that,
it
I was
didn't
like,
go on for as long as I thought it would, were his words. Or it went on for
right,
longer than I thought it would.
right. And so, you know, because in that clip when she's like, we are sexually compatible, I was like, oh, that is a new Nikki. That's a new
It's
Nikki.
a new
So
Nikki. That's an interesting one. I think you're right. I could see them both saying yes on decision day, but where do you see them now, like a year later,
ooh.
assuming this was filmed a year ago?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? It would be a great story if they say yes on decision day. I do not know if I see them lasting long term though,
Yeah.
because
I think they're too competitive with each other.
yep,
And he
they're too
can't just keep
competitive.
saying, I'm going to stop doing that because it's clearly just part of who you are. So I think that's going to be like, I get that she's struggled her whole life to kind of find her match financially and everything else. But it sucks that it then that person that met her match is like constantly sort of competing with her, I guess. And it's just or they're both doing that, right? And they're both very concerned
Yes,
about like perception and
yes,
yeah, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I'm
I think
surprised that they've even gotten to the place that they've gotten, just given how much their communication was just like not jiving in those
yeah.
first few weeks.
I agree. I agree with you. The fact that they are in a good place, in a place where anybody is thinking that they could say yes on decision day is
Yeah.
hilarious. But that again, that's why they're one of my favorite couples because they are so layered. There's so many
Right?
layers. And
Oh, so many layers. Okay, let's talk about Devin and Caitlin. I just want to let you know in advance I'm a Caitlin stan, if that's okay.
amazing. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, first of all, even if it wasn't okay with me, I'm on your show. What the fuck am I gonna do?
When I was on Tane Talks with our friend Tane, she
Uh-huh.
was like dead. I was like, can we still be friends? She's like, I don't know.
Well, listen, we can still be friends because my
Good.
requirement isn't that we agree on everything. But yeah, I would love to know why you're a Caitlyn stan, if I may.
I think she's trying her best. I
Okay.
feel like I, especially in this drop of episodes, we got so much more of her personality. In the last drop, when they did like the Harry Potter, like butter beer night and everything, like when people say that she's not giving anything, what isn't she giving when they're having a date night? That's what you would do if you're dating. You would go on a few dates a week. If we mean sexually, okay, like not everyone gets there yet.
Hmm.
And with the kisses in the morning, I just want to explain this as someone who goes to bed very early and gets up very early. You wouldn't what and I've been in a relationship before where they were going to bed at midnight and I go to bed at 8:39, right? So there is no like good night kiss or text or whatever. It's because you're just not doing it at the same time. I also, if I'm not mistaken, does he not like to sleep in? So she wants to get up early, go to the gym, which she's already said she's been content with as her alone time. So I thought they had already discussed that, and that was good. So she gets up real early to go do that. If she were to kiss him, he'd wake up. So she's letting him sleep. She has her alone time. She comes back. I don't know about the pillows, but other than that, I don't really, I don't see what she's not doing. So when people say she's not doing anything, what is everyone else doing?
Hmm. That's interesting. I I am not a Caitlyn hater, but I don't think that she is. I don't think she's ready for this. Like it's a similar.
Okay,
I have a
yeah, I
similar
agree.
feeling
Any
about
any
her.
any person, sorry to cut you off. Any person who
Okay.
says I'm here for a slow burn or I'm a slow burn, get out of here. Get out of here.
Right. You're not
Yeah.
you're not here.
Yes.
You're not meant to be on a show called Married
Yeah.
at First Sight.
Right.
The thing in the morning, I do feel like if you're living with a partner, you should tell them that you're leaving in the morning. Like I just feel like that is like courteous as a partner, I think. So her not doing that to me, what it just signals is she's just not used to like sharing her life
Yeah.
with someone like that. So it's not necessarily wrong, but I am glad that she said like she finally has come around to doing that. Like she was telling her dad, like I let him know and I leave in the morning because I'm like, you should do that. She just seems like one of those people that you have to walk on eggshells around because as soon as you say the wrong thing, she gets upset. And we saw that at the dinner when they were all there and Devin didn't answer a question in the way that she thought he should have answered. And she was just like everything that they had built up to, it was just kind of like gone. And she like had an attitude with him and she was really short and snappy with him. And I just feel like that is not a good partner to have because it's like if I'm not constantly saying the right thing or doing the right thing, I have a fear. I have to live in fear of me doing something that you don't like and then you kind of flying off the handle or becoming upset. And I just don't think that's fair to anyone. I will say though, I think with Caitlyn, I think she's physically attracted to Devin. I think she feels something with Devin that is stopping her from like fully connecting with him and she can't put a name to it. And like that happens a lot. Like, and you see that happen with women on reality TV, with men too. Like we have an intuition for a reason. So I think there's something in her that like doesn't trust Devin, and she just doesn't know. like he hasn't done anything, so she can't name what that thing is. But I think she just feels a lack of trust with him, and now whether that lack of trust is just because she doesn't know him and like she's guarded and she's afraid, that could be it. Could it be something more insidious? Maybe. I don't know, but I don't think Devin's a bad person, but sometimes people just have a feeling with another person. It's like, I like you, I want to like you, I really want to like you, but something in my gut is not allowing me to do that. And so that is what I'm getting from Caitlyn. But again, I don't know because on the surface, Devin does seem like a decent person.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it could be time, and it could be, like I mentioned with Nikki, just those setbacks, right? Like she thinks things are going good, and then they have the dinner in, I think, the last drop of episodes where he sort of throws her under the bus, right? So she doesn't feel safe with him, and then it just sort of sets her back in the relationship. I, in terms of the fight at the dinner, I loved it because I was like, one, it showed her personality.
mhm,
Two, I see what she's saying because what he said, what they were talking about was like having sex and whether you, which I'm curious your opinion about. We'll talk about that in a second, but whether you need to have sex to say yes on decision day. And he says something like, well, you need to be like sexually compatible. You need to be into the same things because if you're not, that's when people stray. And so it wasn't just about like not having sex. It was about like not being into like the same things. And he
mhm,
knows that she was cheated on. So she's pissed that his first thought is like towards, well, cheating, right?
mhm.
And I don't know. I like that she sort of like had an opinion, put him in his place, and then like I feel like it took us a while. It took me a while to even be a stan because I didn't see any of her personality. But I don't know. I feel like if somebody else said that, I feel like we'd applaud her. But I feel like everybody hates her. That's
I
my,
don't I
those are
don't
my
know.
thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean that's true in reality TV fandom, right? Like once the audience has kind of established how they feel about you, unless someone does something egregious that makes you like the ultimate victim, it's really hard to get them to come around. So I do
Yeah.
unfortunately think Caitlyn is just like in that area with the fans
Yeah.
where they just don't really like her. Um I don't I'm really indifferent. Like I'm indifferent with towards most people on reality TV, to be honest with you. So I don't stand her, but I don't have a strong dislike for her
Sorry, I don't
either.
stan her. I don't
Yeah,
know
no,
her enough
no.
to stan her.
Yeah, yeah,
This is
yeah.
a one
But
season person I'll never see again.
I do think that if that was Devin's truth, right? It's the same on both
Yeah.
sides, right? If
Yeah.
it's his truth, then he had a right to say it.
Yeah.
If that's something that triggers her, she had a right to then react to it. It's the way that she does it. She becomes very dismissive of him. And like, I don't know, I think also with the partnership, there's a little protection that you should have for your partner. I've never seen that really displayed with either of them. Like he will throw her under the bus in front of the rest of the group, and
Yeah. And
she
she
will
doesn't
like
really
kind of
take his
yeah,
side.
shit on him, yeah, in front of the group too. So that's something
Hmm.
that I'm just like, but I also am like, they don't know each other, so like they don't have the instinct to protect each other like married couples would do who have been together for years. So maybe my expectations are too deep.
Do you think if they just had sex, this would cure all? Because I
No,
feel like, no, you don't
no,
think
I
that's
think
what
it
it
would
is
make
with
it
him?
worse. Yeah, I think it would make it worse for
Why?
them. What if they don't like it? What if they don't like the sex
Oh,
and it's
God.
bad? Okay, that's one thing. Two, um, what if they have sex and it makes her more like she feels like more connected to him, and then he's not showing her the love and like the care that she thinks he should show her after they have sex. Like it's delicate because I can't
Hmm.
call it either way to say like they'll have sex and she'll get attached or he'll get attached, but I'm just like, I don't know that sex would fix their problems. It could complicate them like sex often does when you're in a
Yeah.
situation that already, if you're not kind of vibing with each other, you're having some issues. Sex rarely ever fixes that. It just complicates it more.
So the discussion that they were having at this point in time was like at a group dinner, and they were talking about whether you needed to have sex to say yes or to get married. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm on the fence about it because like
I had to really think about it too. It's a
yeah,
tough
it's
one.
hard. It's
Yeah.
really hard because like I also like they don't know each other that well. So like depending on the type of person you are, some people just don't like being intimate that soon with someone. The question then becomes, why are you on a show like this where everything is accelerated? But it's like I don't know. Honestly, I don't have an answer for you about like how I feel because I think what's good for some couples is it just doesn't work for others. Like Michelle and Cameron, they did it. They're great, right? In their case, it might have even helped their connection. Um, who else did it? Beljolie and Mecca. I know I'm jumping ahead. They did it, and it still seems like that wasn't even enough for him. So it's like,
Let's move on
does
to
it?
them. Let's move on
Yeah.
to them because I'm really upset. And it's funny because I was texting Tane from Tane Talks. I was up at like 5 or 6 in the morning because I get up so early. And so I was watching the drop of episodes first thing in the morning, which I also saw
Mhm.
people were really mad about on threads. People were like, what maps people getting up and watching these episodes? And I text her and because I was just like, oh my God, I love Mecca so much. She threw Beljolie this beautiful birthday. I'm obsessed with him. And she's like, really? Okay, I haven't watched the episodes yet. And then 2 hours later, I'm like, oh no, never mind.
Yeah, that was I too thought the birthday party thing was so cute. I thought it was very sweet, but I also realized almost immediately that he did it not because like this is my person and I want to do something special for her. He's in a race to like win her affection and win her love, and I think he did that to try to like get her over the finish line because
Hmm.
right after they did it and they're sitting there eating the cake and he's like, "You I bet you're in love with me now, aren't you?" And as soon as he said that, I was like, "Oh, he's trying to get her affection, like win her affection."
Yeah.
Um versus just really being in it. And then I saw a really interesting thread that said that he did that because he pities her. Like they had to talk about her like being beyond poor, like she was saying they were beyond poor, they lived in poverty, and he was taking that in, and so he did the birthday thing because they talked about it like that's why birthdays are so special to you because that was the one time when she was younger where they would actually like celebrate stuff. So he did the birthday thing out of pity for her because he felt bad. So I thought that
Hmm.
was a really interesting takeaway. I still feel more strongly that he's just trying to win her affection and get her over the hump to like fall in love with him. But I thought the pity angle was also like very valid.
I didn't think about it that way at all. What did you think? Or some people were also sort of saying online that they didn't like the way he reacted when she said that she was beyond poor. Like it didn't seem sympathetic. It almost seemed like he was laughing about it. Like he was beyond poor, beyond poor. And she was
Yeah.
saying these very serious things. I guess I read those threads before I sort of like watched the scene. I don't know that I necessarily because in every other respect, until we get to where we get to,
Hmm.
he seems to be such a good listener and really validates her feelings and really listens to her story. So I didn't necessarily take it that way. How did you take that?
I didn't take it that way either. I just thought he didn't know how to respond to that. Because
Yeah.
how do you respond to somebody telling you that they had to bathe with like a bucket and like had no light, no electricity, like especially if you didn't also experience that. Like he's talking about like he didn't get a smartphone till senior year, right? Like
Yeah.
by all accounts, his basic needs were always met. He just didn't have like
Yeah.
the extra stuff. So I feel like when you haven't experienced something like that, it is really, there's no right way to react because you don't really know what to say. It's like, do you ask them to like explain more, like talk more about that? And you also are recognizing this is somebody talking about a very traumatic time. How into this should I be? Like, am I asking you to give me more examples, or am I kind of like trying to shoo us into another direction
Yeah.
conversationally? Like, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. He didn't laugh at her. I think he was saying, beyond poor, like beyond poor, because it was just like she said it was kind of like we were beyond poor, right? Like probably laughing nervously and like, oh shoot, this is
Yeah.
a traumatic thing. And I think his response was also that. And someone on threads, I don't want to take credit for this, but they were saying like Mecca also has his own complex emotions and trauma, and he does not have the tools to even deal with his own. So how could he
That's
be
such a good
expected
point.
to like handle hers in like the perfect way? So
Yeah.
it was, that was how I felt about it.
Authored by Jazmine Henley-Brown. Okay, so then we get to the group therapy, or was it the group dinner or the group therapy? One of those things. I think it was
Yeah.
the
They're
therapy.
like interchangeable at this point because I feel
Yeah.
like they're having so many of them.
And it comes out of a conversation with somebody else, but basically says that when he met Belgily, he was not attracted to her because she was not, it's not that she wasn't pretty, he just wasn't sure if she was pretty enough for him. And I thought so many ways about, I feel like I would have just left. I feel like I would have been so done at this
Yeah.
point. Like, give me all your thoughts. I'm so upset by him.
Yeah, I thought that was the completely wrong forum to do that in. Like, I feel like if you felt like that, that could have been a conversation that y'all had together alone. If you
Does it even
even
have to
needed to
be?
say, that's what I was gonna say, if you needed to say it at all. But this is the second time that he's like put down her looks, right, to her face,
She's
and he's
gorgeous. Like she's conventionally attractive. There's subjectively attractive people and conventionally attractive people. She's conventionally attractive. Like, what are you talking about? It's so demoralizing and demeaning to a woman to like denigrate her looks like that. And I just hate, like, what are you even talking about? Right? Like, she's so
I think
beautiful.
I mean, I definitely think she's attractive for sure. I am also of the belief that like everybody doesn't have to be
I mean, yeah,
attracted to you, right? So I think it's okay that he wasn't initially attracted to her. Saying it is a different story though. And
yeah.
I think I don't know, it's weird because in this experiment, we don't feel this way when the women tell the men that they're not attracted to them. Like Nikki has been telling Shawn every episode that she's not physically attracted to him. She's been telling us, people in the audience have been talking about how the experts did her so wrong by giving her someone like Shawn because the audience does not find Shawn attractive for whatever reason. And so I think it is a real double standard because I feel like while yes, Belle Jolie definitely have markers. She is conventionally attractive, but there are people out there who won't find her attractive, and like she is not everybody's type, and maybe she's just not Mecca's type. And I think it's okay if she isn't, and it's okay if he wasn't fully attracted to her. It's just the way that you go about telling people. I think it's the delivery of that. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, kind of thing. And then for him to say it the way he said it in front of the group, she was really just caught off guard by it. And that's why it's also like it just felt mean. Like it felt mean. Because at least with Nikki and Shawn, if she says it in the group, Shawn already knows that she feels this way. So it's not a
Hmm.
shock. I think
Yeah.
Mecca should have, if he had to say it, he should have just told her offline
He
or not.
talks about it so freely. I don't know. I see your point. I see your point. I don't want to, but you're right. Trying to think a way around it. All right, I'll come back to
It's a
this.
fact of life. Yeah, it's just a fact of life, right? Like you will not be attractive to every person you
No,
come across.
yes, but for some reason it feels different when the women are explaining to men. I feel like when the women are explaining it to the men, it's because they're like, I just want to explain why I can't go there with you sexually. I don't know why. I don't think maybe that could have been the reason why Mecca and Belgely waited however long they waited, but like I don't think that that's his was his point for bringing it up. I really don't know what his point ever bringing it up was, or when he was doing the rating thing. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm just not sure his point. But for the women, I think there's like I have to tell you this so you understand why I'm like pumping the brakes a bit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. I think he brought it up to try to he was bringing it up to relate to who is he
Right.
talking to? I forget who he was
Nikki and
talking to.
Shawn about how like now
Right.
they're yeah
Exactly. So
attracted
he
to
was
each other and
right. Yeah, exactly. He was bringing it up to relate to them. It again, it was just like the fact that it's her first time hearing it is just like that's really shocking.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I think there is a double standard though. Like I think
yeah.
I stand very
I guess I
firmly
can't
on that.
disagree.
That like yeah, if she said that to Mecca, like well, I wasn't attracted to Mecca at first. No one would really feel that. Like no one would have strong opinions about that. It would just kind of like be like, okay, whatever. But I think because she's a woman, because the audience likes her as well, because also if Nick would have said that about Courtney, no one would care that he said that about Courtney because the audience already has decided that they don't like Courtney.
Right.
But Belle Jolie is in the good graces of the audience, so of course it's a bigger deal that he's not attracted to her. And I'm like seeing people online saying like, "In what world is he not attracted to her?" And I'm just like, "We're not being realistic here, people. Just because you find her attractive and you find her beautiful." I said that the first time I saw her. I was like, "I think she is super cute." That does not mean that he has to also feel that way.
But pretty enough for me is like a weird way to
That,
phrase it, you know?
that,
Yeah,
that, yes,
because
that.
it's different to be like there's celebrities out there that I'm not attracted to. I'm sure they're not attracted to me either. But like, so just because you know what I mean, like just
Yeah.
because whatever, like I'm not necessarily attracted to you, but it doesn't mean they're not good at it. It has the level of you're not good enough for me.
And I think that is the problem, right? I
Right.
definitely took issue with that, particularly because now his one of his ex-girlfriends has come out, and she, to me, I mean, and this is not like coming down on her, but I don't think that she is uh light years prettier than Belle Jolie. Like, I don't think,
I know
not
I
to,
hate
I'm
doing
not
this, but
being
like,
right.
yeah,
You know
she's
what I'm
like
saying? Like
average looking
comparing,
girl. Yeah.
right, exactly. Comparing women to each other. I don't
Right.
typically, I
Yeah.
don't really like doing that. But
Right.
like, I don't think that she was prettier than Belle Jolie. So it does beg the question of like, well, what does that mean to you? But then it also goes back to whatever your physical type is. If this person doesn't meet that, then maybe that's the feeling that you leave with. But like to say it to someone is crazy,
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
work. You're pretty, but were you
Pretty
pretty
enough for
enough
me.
for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would have gotten up and I was like, you know what, thanks, but no thanks. Thanks.
Yeah.
Let me get my doggy bag. Please put my food in a to-go box. I'm heading out.
And then
Call
no.
my Uber.
Can I keep you 10 more minutes?
Yeah, oh yeah, no,
Wait.
I'm my
Yeah.
my day is completely free, girl. Keep me as
Okay.
long as you need.
Okay. I just hated to take up time on your Saturday. Okay. Marissa and Adam, we are finally, getting past the vibes. And I really love that she is, well, I hate that she is starting to use his lingo. I hate that
Yeah.
the entire group is starting to use his lingo. It's annoying. But she is now starting to sort of break those walls and realize that, like, okay, I was just sort of going with the flow just to make him happy, but like
Yeah.
I I want things too. And like Paul even mentions how their communication is shit because she didn't tell him that her friends were kind of concerned about him. He didn't tell her that they're gonna meet his sister, so they have to kind of work on that. Um, I'm so curious. Yeah, what do you think about them and where do you think they are today?
I think they say yes to each other on decision day. And
Yeah,
I
I think so
actually I
too.
wouldn't yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they were still together right now because I think even with the communication, like they're a very surface level couple right now, but I
But how
think
long
that
can that
they
last, right? Like,
right, I don't think it can last forever, but I do think that they like each other enough that they would try to get past it or at least prolong it until like it absolutely couldn't. But who's to
yeah.
say that they may not have reached a point where they started to get deep with each other? Adam does seem as deep as a puddle, so like I don't know, but I for something about the two of them together just makes me feel like they would try to make it work until they like completely could not do it. I thought they're at the dinner, Shawn calling out Adam's like
I
use
wanted
of
your
like
thoughts on that.
reductive, yeah, his use of like reductive language. I thought that was like really, really good, but it's like it's so hard to be Shawn right now because I think even in the group setting, people have already made an opinion about him, and so
Hmm.
and also this is why it's important to not talk to your partner like shit because I feel like they've seen how Nikki treats him. So that also trains people like how to treat your partner. So they see Nikki kind of being dismissive of him and not really like respecting him. That shows everybody else that they don't really have to treat him well either. And so I think
Hmm.
that's why everybody at the table was just kind of like, oh, like kind of sticking up for Adam. And I'm like, no, what Shawn said is actually right. It's the right message, but maybe just the wrong messenger for you guys. But it's like he
Yeah.
was valid. Like did he ask a poignant question? Did you create this character around yourself to like avoid like getting deep or whatever he said? And I was like, that is a question that Paul should have been asking Adam. But
Paul.
even Paul
I
was
was going to say
like,
an expert, even though I don't know what Paul's credentials are. I don't think he's a doctor in any regard.
he's not
So
a doctor. He's a relationship coach. I can't, and I've been seeing this about Paul too. I've actually known Paul since like 2012, and he's
stop.
legit been, yeah, I've interviewed him before. I met him and his wife before. He had an
Oh
event like back
my
in New York City, yeah, like 2012, so long
God.
ass time
Okay.
ago. But he is a legit like matchmaker and like
Okay.
couples coach, right? He's not a doctor though, so he we can't call him like a therapist, but
Okay,
like
but he has
he's not
credentials.
a
Okay. Sounds
yeah,
good.
and two, and here's the other thing. I don't like sticking my neck completely out for people because I'm like I've known him in in this particular way. So I'm not saying we're like best friends and like we
Right.
go over for tea, but in the capacity that I've known him, he's always done relationship coaching and matchmaking. So like
Hmm.
I think he is someone who is equipped to be here. But even when Shawn said what he said, Paul was like, I felt like my dad just said that. So even
Yeah.
Paul knew that that was the right thing to say to Adam. Just wrong way to say it, maybe. It
The
felt,
wrong way and maybe just the wrong person.
yeah.
Because if it came from Paul, it would be taken differently. That being said, I have to say, I do feel a little bad for everyone in those sessions because you leave with your tail between your legs. It's just like they're brutal.
Yeah, I mean, but they
Paul,
do that on
Paul
purpose.
could be brutal.
They do that on purpose. That's why I'm just
I
like, this is
know.
we
It's the
are still
Simon Cowell of
watching
maths. You know?
we are still watching a reality TV show on Peacock. Like match
Yeah, you're right.
drama is like that is the primary reason for the show. And if we get some successful couples out of it, great. But like it is purely for our entertainment at this point.
And again, I love that for us. It's been so great. Okay, and then I'm just trying to think if there's anything else about them. I mean, just the way he lives, I just find wild. I mean, for me, who is a complete potato, does not work out, does not move any of that. The way he lives gives me so much anxiety. And like, I give her props for trying and like she has a friend with a pickleball court. She's gonna go there. That's great. I that part I don't see the longevity like for her. She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to live this
Right.
sporty lifestyle.
I think if he could let up a little bit on his like expectation of her to be like playing pickleball,
Play with
27
somebody
hours
else.
of a 24-hour day, right? If he could let up a little bit, I think they'll be fine. Because I don't understand why he is like pushing her so hard. Like Marissa is in like the top whatever percent. Like she's so fit. She's slender and not slender in like a way that she's just skinny and looks like she doesn't eat. She actually looks athletic and like
Yeah,
she works out. So like I don't understand why he's forcing her to like do even more than what it looks like she might already do. She's like, I want to go out and have wine with my girls. Like I want to chill on the couch maybe and like eat cookies and like like why can't she have that and then you guys can go play pickleball on the weekend? Like
right.
it's not that hard.
And I worry that he's going to like judge her for that lifestyle
Yeah.
because it is something that people said way back in like episode 1 or 2, whenever their
I said
wedding
that
was.
too.
Oh, did you about like,
That he's
because,
judgy.
she's into naps and macaroni and cheese and tequila, and he's like glazed over, right? So there's
Yeah.
going to come a point where she wants to get back to her lifestyle, and he's going to call it lazy and all of this
Basic.
stuff. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it is, but let her
Yep.
be it, right? I, I was
Yeah.
gonna say I blame it on like not being honest enough with the experts, but like again, this is all for our entertainment. Even if they had been, who
Yeah, I
knows?
said that after like when they were at their wedding. I was like, he's gonna be judgmental of her because he's gonna think that she's basic. And I think she is basic, but like not in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? Like she is
Yeah,
a girl of a woman of a certain age and she likes, you know, hanging out, drinking
she
wine.
likes what she likes.
She likes what she likes.
And
There's
she
nothing
knows
wrong
what
with
she
that.
likes, and I appreciate that.
I do. I wish she was more, I wish she had a stronger conviction to be like,
Yes.
hey, this is great that you like this, but I also want to do this. Cause I feel like, and again, somebody pointed this out on threads. All of the dates that they've done so far have been things that he likes to do. Like we don't really know what she likes to do.
Right.
Maybe the painting was hers. But
That was
even in
so
that,
disrespectful. Like he had to turn that into a
but
joke and make it
yeah.
stupid, right? And she had a good attitude about it, but I would be like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So the reason I think they say yes, because I just don't, and I was talking about this with Tane actually.
Mm,
I just think she's in that phase of womanhood where like this seems like a good idea. He seems like a good catch, and maybe she'll just go along until she like gets to that point where she's like, Actually, I don't want any of this," and then
right.
decides to leave. So I do think I do see them saying yes.
Yeah, I agree. Do you know when this was filmed? Do you have that info?
I don't know. I'm
No.
assuming like last year, maybe, right?
Yeah. I swear I could be wrong, but somebody was saying something about when um the Taylor Swift album came out would be when this was filming.
Yeah, Life of a Showgirl
Do you know
because
when that was?
no, I can Google really quickly because
Just
that is
kidding.
your girl Caitlin, she is a Swiftie, which I also love Taylor Swift.
But I loved her,
But
her little
she
personality came out there too. I just
yeah,
thought
yeah, yeah,
she's
yeah.
cute. Like I'm just we're starting to see a little bit more about her.
No,
Anyway,
I agree. I agree with you. Let me see. Life of a Showgirl that
it was
came out in
October.
2025.
Okay.
Yeah. Um October 3rd, 2025.
October.
And then, yep.
Okay,
And then
so
they
about
had like the movie because she was
okay,
saying
so
that
less than a
Caitlin,
year.
yeah, because she was saying her and Devin went to see the movie together. So it was around that time.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to our last couple, Tori and Felipe.
Yeah.
Also, a very interesting couple to chat about. I love this woman. I really loved in this drop of episodes that she just, she was sort of Marissa in a way. I feel like early on where she was just sort of going with the flow.
Yeah.
But that's also her personality because, like, even when her mom gets cancer, she's just very, like, okay, business as usual. So she's just very stoic, I guess. But
Yeah.
now that her husband has said the things that he has said, where he's just like, I love sleeping with a lot of women. I don't know. She's just like, no.
Yeah.
So I'm
Such
loving
a
that. But like,
change.
what do you think about this guy?
Uh I said this in the first drop of like 3 episodes that Felipe seems like the type of man because he is a self-proclaimed. He said he was an Ugmo for most of his life, and he just
Right.
became good looking. And the jury is out on if you think he's good looking now or not. I think he's attractive. I said this in the video. Like he's a guy that if you're at a bar and he comes up to you at the bar, you're not immediately gonna be like, ew. You might entertain until he says something in the conversation, and then you're gonna be like, get the fuck away from me, right? That's the kind of guy he is. Like he's not immediately like you're not put off by him when you see him immediately, but it's
Right.
gonna be it's a quick turn because he's gonna say something almost immediately. You're gonna be like, get back to your side of the bar, sir. But he seems like the type of guy he is out on a mission of like he wants to get back at every woman that rejected him when he was ugly. So he just wants to sleep with everyone because he's not used to getting attention. And he seems like the type of guy that would have a beautiful wife in Tori and still go out and cheat because he can't say no to other beautiful
Oh,
women
you're
giving him
right.
attention. So I knew this was going to be his story almost immediately based on how he talked about like the way he grew up. And he said this one thing. He was like, when I became good looking, I realized that women are just as shallow as men. And I was like, that's a man that's out for revenge. Like that is a man, you know what I'm saying? Like he actually doesn't deserve any wife on here because he's not gonna do right by her. And it sucks
Hmm.
that he gets Tori because Tori does seem like an awesome woman. And I was so happy for her in this last drop because I was like, this is what I don't pray on the downfall of any relationship, but I was like, this is what I needed to see from her to really like know that like if there was anybody on this cast that I was gonna stand, Tori has the strongest case. Cause
Yeah.
she is like seeing what's happening and she's like, I don't think this is working for me anymore. Like, I'm not really feeling this. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not really feeling this. And so
Yeah.
they are up in the air for me as we go into like our last like that. We'll see how the couples retreat goes, but I don't know if I actually see her saying yes. If before this drop of episodes, I would have said yes. I think they're both gonna say yeah. But after this, I don't know if I see Tori saying yes, and I actually love that for her.
What do you think about what the experts advised him in terms of just thinking about her in terms of the moment or the day as opposed to the long term? Because he's trying to communicate or like haphazardly that he's into her. He's really wanting to be with her. It's more just the idea of like being with somebody long term. He's not sure about that. So they're like, okay, then don't think about it long term. Think about it like today you're into her. And she doesn't seem enthused by that. And I wouldn't either because we're talking
Yeah.
about marriage, right? And neither does the entire rest of the group. They're just sort of like, so you're into her for today. You've made the decision today, right? Like, aren't some vows like today, tomorrow, and always? Like,
I hated I
it
hated
was weird
that from the
advice.
experts. Yeah, I hated that because it's like, and even when he was saying it, trying to be convincing, he still couldn't be convincing. Like when he was trying to tell Paul, like I want Tori today, or I'm saying he wouldn't even look him in the eye. Like, he kept looking away, and I'm like, I'm no body language expert, but like that feels like a lie to me.
Yeah,
And but like that's the other thing with Tori. She's like, you say you want me, but I don't feel that, and that's like
right.
that's a like big theme I think this season with the women. They're feeling something that they can't actually name because the guys are really good at performing like what they think they should be doing. Like I think Felipe, he has put his foot in his mouth a lot, but I think he tries to perform what he thinks is like redemption, right? But like for Tori, it's like in my stomach, in my heart of hearts, I can feel that you don't really mean what you're saying to me. Um and so yeah, I thought that was some bullshit that the experts told him, and I'm glad that everybody at the table called it out, and I'm glad that everybody in the audience seems to be able to like see right through it too, and it seems like Tori can also see through it because like, what do you mean? I'm into you today. I'm gonna have to ask you that every day for the next 50 years. Get the fuck out of here. No.
It's so funny that they gave him that advice because, I mean, they gave some other people like similar advice, but then they also gave Mecca the advice, for example, of like, you need to choose her, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, she can't expect to like, she needs to feel like he's chosen her every day, but not that every day is a brand new day, like that movie with Drew Barrymore where she can't remember the days. So
What
it's
is it?
like
50 First Dates, right?
50
Is
First
that the
Dates.
one?
I love that
Yeah.
movie. But you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because, like, can you imagine? It's like, yes, you are supposed to choose them every day in
Right.
theory, but you want to feel secure enough in your relationship that you aren't going to wake up tomorrow and they could change their mind. That's like
Exactly.
your nervous system would never be able to calm down. Oh my God.
Exactly. It's not like, yes, it's a choice.
What?
Marriage is a choice every day, but it's like I shouldn't like have the image of you in the morning, like you open your eyes and you're like, okay, I'm gonna be faithful today. Today
Like,
is
can you
still a day
imagine?
I'm gonna
You
stay
turn to your
faithful.
husband every morning. You're like,
Like, hey, I am faithful today.
I can't.
Yeah, no, but I'm glad that Tori's picking up on that. So we will see what happens with them, but I will tell you, even if they say yes on decision day, I wouldn't expect them to be together come the reunion.
I agree. I feel like I forget if it was in this drop of episode. I think it was where Paul's like, "You came to us because you were lonely." And again, I feel like that's not a good enough reason because just it sounds like his life was quite full. We all have
Hmm.
moments of loneliness. There's a
Yeah.
difference between moments of loneliness and wanting a whole ass wife and to change your whole life. And I appreciate all of the things he says to her where he's like, I don't believe in God, but if you want to believe in God, we'll believe in God. I don't care for kids, but if you want kids, we'll have kids. Eventually you're going to cause some kind of resentment. These are huge life changes and decisions, and you can't just be like, happy wife, happy life with all of it, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Felipe gives me like, okay, so let's say they say yes on decision day. They stay together. Um, they move out to the suburbs because that's something that Tori says she wants, and he said he couldn't see himself doing it, right? So she convinces him to move to the suburbs. They have a couple kids. I could see Felipe waking up one day and pulling a Belle Burden's husband. Have you read Strangers by Belle Burden?
No.
That woman, she was married to her husband for 20 years. COVID hit. They go to their house, their vacation home on Martha's Vineyard. One day she finds out he's cheating. The next morning he's like, "Hey, I don't want to work this out. I'm leaving." Goes back to New York, tells her, "I don't want this life anymore and I don't want the kids anymore. Like keep the custody of the kids. Keep yeah." Felipe gives me that type of vibe. Like I will
Yeah.
build this life with you and then one day I'll realize like this is never what I wanted and I'm out of there. Not to say he would leave his children because he does seem very family oriented. So I don't think his family would allow him to do that.
Not that mother,
But
no way.
he seems like the type of
I
guy.
feel like the grandmother would fight for primary custody of the
Yeah,
child.
I feel like he seems like the type of guy that would like act like he wants to build this life that his wife wants, and then one day just be like, no, actually, I want to go and sleep with more women and like get my tiny apartment back in downtown. So sorry, gotta go. That's what he gives me, and I don't want that for any woman. I don't want that for any woman.
Yeah. She's great. I feel bad for her. And she had like a rough upbringing too, which we don't hear a ton about, but she mentioned it earlier on and yeah, it
And I
sucks.
think that's
And
why
she's so
she's the way
ready.
she is. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's why she's the way she is, right? Very stoic, just like kind of used to taking care of things because she also mentioned she took care of her sister, like worked to put her
Yeah.
sister through school. So she's just used to like being in control and like making sure everything is okay, which is probably why we don't see her sweat with Felipe.
Yeah.
I loved what she said in the not this job, but something else, and they were talking about something with Felipe, and she was like, "Well, that's not for me to fix or something," and I was like, rest of you ladies take note because the rest of y'all are trying to fix these men. And Tori was
Right.
like, he's not, that's not my job to fix him in that
Yeah.
way. Tough titty, said the kitty. You know what I mean?
On that note, Jasmine, thank you so much for being here. Why don't you tell everyone where they can follow you and listen to you and see everything that you have going on?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
This was.
You can follow me everywhere at J Henley Brown. YouTube is kind of like my primary platform where I do all of my long form stuff, but I post clips and I do short form videos on the TikToks. the Instagrams, and I am always talking about something over on Threads. So you can follow me, J Henley-Brown, everywhere.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you for listening to the Bravo Investigator podcast. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at the Bravo Investigator. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and join the Facebook page. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a 5-star review.